My dog loves everyone except him. I had a basset hound named M. She was sweet and cuddly and firmly believed that everyone knows her and loves her, and she loved them in return. Our daily walks were scattered with brief visits with several neighbors so they could pet and love on her. One evening I was waiting for a delivery from a food service company who came by every 2 weeks. M loves our regular driver and he brings her treats. The truck pulls up in front of the house and M's demeanor changes. I have never seen her act like this. The hair is up on her back and a constant low growling. I see the driver get out of the truck and it's not my regular driver. Her growling gets louder. I don't know what the issue is, but I know my dog. She doesn't trust him, so neither do I. The driver usually steps into the house, not today. I stepped out on the front stoop but left the front door open and the glass storm door closed. M is on the other side of the storm door baring her teeth and growling. The driver approaches and I hear a whisper, "Don't show him your back." I stay facing him while he tells me my driver is on vacation. Asks me if I want to see the catalog and there's some new items he would like to show me. My dog is going crazy, and my creeper vibe is going crazy. I firmly tell him I only want my pre-order and I will look at the new items online. He hesitated for several minutes like he didn't know what to do next, before finally going back to the truck and bringing my order. He says it's heavy and do I want him to carry it inside. I said no thank you, just set it down and my son will take care of it. He sets it down and hesitates again and it's awkward and the silence is deafening. So I say, I believe it was prepaid. He finally replied yes, of course. He stood there for a moment more but I was not turning to go inside until he leaves. He finally turns and goes to the truck and leaves. Instantly my happy dog is back and I open the door to find my 12-year-old son is hiding against the wall next to the door with the largest knife for my kitchen. I give him a questioning look and he says, "M says he is dangerous and I was going to be ready if he tried anything." He trusts his dog too. Only time my dog ever growled at someone, this was in 2011, a year after I'd, female, 22 at the time, graduated college. I was living in my first apartment with a friend. I had adopted the sweetest dog I'd ever had, a runt of the litter Pomeranian who literally loved every person she ever met. My nephew was young at the time and would sometimes handle her a little roughly, "Sweet kid," and we'd correct him, but he didn't quite realize how little she was under all that fur, and she tolerated it without ever nipping or anything. One day, roommate was gone and there was a knock at the door. It was a handyman who said he was there for an annual check on appliances. He was wearing the apartment complex's standard uniform and had a badge. So I didn't really think twice about it, and upon follow-up, he really did work there, even though I hadn't been notified this would be happening. He comes in, and begins chatting and sort of leering. Felt uncomfortable, but not nearly as freaked out as when my dog came rushing in between us, ears back, teeth bared, and started growling at him. He kind of awkwardly laughed and went to pet her, weird choice for a dog that is baring its teeth at you, and she immediately lunged forward like she was going to bite him. He leaped back before she could, tiny dog, large man, but he was obviously freaked out. At this point, she is straight up barking at him. He asked if I could put her away while he worked and I lied and said she had separation anxiety, so I recommended he come back another time when I could walk her. Or when my roommate was there so one of us could be in a room with her. He never did come back. My dog lived another 7 years and not once did she ever growl at another human, let alone try to bite one. You hear about dogs being able to read people, so while I don't know if he would have done anything to me while on company hours, I still think she could sense he wasn't a good person. She was my good girl. My dog may have saved me. This happened a long time ago, about 10 years or so, but I never forgot about it and it still gives me the chills. By the way, I'm not a native English speaker, so I apologize for any mistakes. I, 33F, was in my early 20s. At the time I had a female dog named Nina, a boxer. She passed away when she was 8 from lung cancer. I miss her a lot. Nina was very energetic, so I took her to long walks around the neighborhood, usually at the end of the day around 4 to 6 p.m., when it wasn't too hot, but not dark either. One thing you must know about Nina is that she loved people. She did not get along with other dogs, but every time she saw someone walking by us, she would shake her tail and wants to get closer and asks for pets. One day, we went on our walk as usual. Everything was fine for most of it. I saw a few other dog tutors walking their dogs and an old couple sitting in front of their house chatting, and then when we were alone Nina suddenly started growling. One thing I didn't mention, I am graduated in biology and specialized in animal behavior. At the time this story happened, I was finishing college. So yeah, I used to pay a lot attention to my dog's behaviors and had quite a lot knowledge on dog behavior because it was my favorite subject in the area. Dogs can see movement much better than us, so things like an eyebrow raise or a little tension on the shoulders they can easily pick up, so of course, a dog growling doesn't sound that weird. Nina did growl to other dogs and cats when she saw them. But this was different. It was very low and all the fur of her back was up. Her entire behavior was of alarm. And then I noticed, she was looking back while growling, so I looked behind me. In the distance, like a block away, I saw a man. This made me even more alert, because Nina never growled to anyone in the street before. She never stopped walking by my side or tried to pull away. But she kept this low growl and kept looking at this man. I started to freak out and turned the next block. She stopped for a second, but when we reached the next corner she started growling again and he was there again. He didn't try to talk, call me, and his expression was serious, kinda emotionless. I kept walking in random patterns and he was always there. That man was definitely following me. At some point our distance started to shrink, and Nina's growling was getting stronger, so when I turned the next corner I just started running while he couldn't see me. I ran down about 4 blocks in the direction of an area I knew had more traffic and people around. I stopped to get my breath and looked behind me. He was far away right in the corner where I started running. Just there, standing and looking at me. Nina was looking at him, still with her alarm posture. After a minute he turned around and went away in the same direction, and at that moment, Nina finally relaxed. I kept paying attention to Nina's behavior the entire way back to my house later, but she was just her normal happy self. I told this story to my parents and few neighbors and no one seemed to know of any man that looked like him. I never saw that man again and Nina never behaved like that again either, so I'll never know who he was or why he was following me, but I definitely do not regret trusting Nina's instincts. So people, please pay attention to your pet's behaviors as much as you can. It's not about a supernatural sixth sense. They can actually feel, see, and hear things better than us, and there's no behavior that happens for no reason. There is always a reason. Stay safe everyone.